Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So today we're going to have a little bit of fun and to kind of way off topic really for an October palette. And even the color story isn't quite what I would necessarily wear for October. To me, when I look at this, I do think of spring and summer, but neither here nor there. It's summer somewhere, spring or summer somewhere. Um, but I do actually do like this palette. And the palette I'm talking about is the Colourpop and Sailor Moon Pretty Guardian for Love and Justice palette. And this is what she looks like. You can definitely see that it is going to be a very light color story. But there are still a little bit of pops of color. But I find that a lot of these shades, especially these metallic duochrome shades, really could be one and done. This shade right here, I think this would be a beautiful one and done. All over the lid, blend it out, be done. Like, it's just gorgeous. And that shade particularly is right there. That's the shade I'm talking about, and it's gorgeous. I mean, a lot of these shades, as you can see, are very light. These are the two highlighters that came in the collection. Actually, this one here, the darker one, I actually used it as a blush. Now, is it very highlightery? Yes, it is. I actually put that on top of it as a highlighter. And it is very, honestly, it's very bright. And yes, it's showing texture, but it's not showing texture as bad as I thought it would on my cheeks, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I think that had I put like a purple leaning or a very light pink blush on and then topped it with that purple, it would have been beautiful too. I was thinking like the new mod, or is that what it's called? I think from the one palette I just used the other day, it's like a purple leaning blush. It would have been pretty. Or Mood Exposure from Hourglass, and then put that on top of it. It would have been pretty. Like, there's different ways you can definitely play with it. I think the purple all over the lid, like that highlighter on the lid even, would be pretty. But you can see, obviously, it is definitely going to be very light in color. I mean, this shade right here, you can't even really see it. It's almost skin toned, which you'll see in a minute. And there are two that are mattes with those sparkly, glittery things in it. So let's get started, because I actually really do like this look, and I'm loving the lid. Absolutely loving the lid. So the first shade we're going to go into is Save the World. I also think if you combined this one with the first one, it'd be really pretty too. So this is called Save the World, and it's like a contour color almost, but it's got glitter in it. I will say, I got fallout. I got fallout bad. Okay, did it for the most part brush away? Yes, it did. I would definitely say do your eyes first and then the rest of your makeup. Or if you're going to do the rest of your makeup, like that's just the way you do it, kind of like myself, be careful. Because see, I don't bake, because if I bake, my under eyes will look horrid. Like, it just is what it is. And you could lay down a little extra powder, but some of these shades have got so much in it that, I mean, you could spray your brush, maybe use a glitter glue. I don't know how much it's going to help you. I mean, obviously it's going to help. How much, I don't know. But I had quite a lot of fallout. I won't lie about that one. So, as you can see, you really can barely see that shade. This clip's coming out. We're just going to go ahead and take it out. Just try to get my hair out of my face and out of my way, but it just doesn't want to cooperate today. I mean, you can definitely barely see it there, but a little. We'll just say that. And if you're up close, you can see it, but from back here, I don't know how well you can see where I've laid that shade, to be fair. But it's a good blending out shade, I'd say. And it does, because I know it is a little bit there, it's more comfortable for me to go into the next colorful shade. You know what I mean? So the next shade we're going to go into is Girl Power, which is this purple. But none of them, like, they're all very, I don't want to say dull, but very light in shade. Like, no matter how much you pack it on, you're not going to get very much pigment, you know. Even though you would think, like that Cobalt Blue, I really thought for sure it was just going to like be boom in your face, but it blended out fairly light. Now, if you packed it on, it may be a little bit different. I don't know, but for me personally, I didn't do that. But I did get a good bit of fallout from that shade too, because it's one of the ones with glitter. Just like the Save the World, it had glitter in it too. I don't really understand the purpose of those shades. I mean, I guess if supposedly to help it blend. I don't know. We're going to take that same purple shade though and run it under the lower lash line. But honestly, I don't think they needed to add it to these shades, because these shades, I feel like, would blend it just fine, but what do I know? I do think that the look came out pretty, and I think there's a lot of pretty looks in it, but honestly, for this palette, the mattes are good. There's not a lot of depth to them, but they're good. But the metallic shades and the duochrome, man, they got my heart. These are pretty darn good, y'all. Like, and it's crazy because you're looking at like Colourpop being a fairly affordable brand, but yet they're doing pretty darn good with these shades. I didn't get the whole collection, partly because I don't like their lips products, to be honest with you, and the other part is I have so many eyeliners, although I kinda, a little bit, just a little bit, regret not getting the eyeliners. But I do have colors like that, so I didn't really need them. We're going to go into Starry Sky now. So I've used this shade here first, and then I went into this purple. Now we're going to go into this blue. But again, it's got the sparkles, so do be careful, and it does pick up a good bit. And we're just going to put it on the outer portion of my lid and run it through. But we're going to be careful with it. Like I said, I don't really think you could go overboard, to be fair. I don't think you could, but at the same time, I don't want to take a chance and go overboard, because the shades are so very light, but pretty. Light but pretty, don't get me wrong. Now, do I like depth in a look? Yes, I do. But I can always pull from other palettes, number one. But honestly, if I'm going to do like a one and done, I'm only going to choose, like, I feel like that darker purple and one of any of the metallic shades would have been pretty. I think just the blue, if you were wanting a blue, would go pretty. This blue here would go pretty with any of the metallics also. I just think it's whatever you want to, create. But it'll be a soft, see, to me, I look at this and I think soft not necessarily pastel, but kind of that route, in which, like I said, that's where it leads me to spring. I feel like this is a spring palette, not necessarily a Halloween palette or a fall palette. or winter palette even. Like but you know, it's what, if we're going into winter, like Australia would be going into summer, right? So it'd be perfect for there. This palette would be. But regardless, it is a very pretty palette. Like, there's no denying that. I'm going to take that same blue and run it along the lower lash line, but up on it. Just to carry it over. I use the white eyeliner and exit for my waterline. I just think that this palette is, if you're a Sailor Moon fan, like, I feel like that's who's getting this palette. Or if you're looking for a lighter palette, this would be perfect. But my biggest thing is that put the mattes away. Okay, get those out of your mind. These metallics and duochromes, like, that is this palette, you all. That is where this palette is really shining. Now, is it as good as indie brands like you see, like, online? No, it's not that good. But for what it is, like, it's beyond good. Again, put the mattes away though. Maybe think of another palette you have. I don't even know if you would pair it with this one. See, again, but they do kind of go together. This is more like the brighty, poppy, woody, like warm toned colors, where this is the more cool tone color in a way, you know what I mean? Like sister palettes. But again, there's no deep dark colors. But if you were to have a deep dark color and then had all these metallic shades, I think it'd be absolutely stunning. Stunning. I'm just going back into the first shade. Okay, now, here's where, like I said, and again, spray the brush, lay glitter glue, something like that down. You won't have half the problems I had, but I still feel like there's going to be fallout no matter what you do, to be fair in this, okay? We're going to go into Starlight, which is this shade right here. Man, it is gorgeous. I almost wished I would have laid that shade right here, maybe. Or maybe even this shade on the lid, and then put that over top of it. But I didn't, because this doesn't have much of a base underneath of it. But it does have a base, and it does build on top of itself nicely, and it looks nice on my lid. Now, once I lay it down, I will take my finger and pat it in so that the heat from my finger will, like, melt it, and that does give me less fallout that way. I just wish there was one darker shade, because I do like to use a shadow to line with. But again, you know, this all-in-one palette, does it have to be that? No, it's nice, don't get me wrong. But I also feel like these are shades that go with, you know, Sailor Moon, to be fair. And when I think about it, like my daughter, my youngest daughter who watches Sailor Moon, loves these palettes. And like I said, that's how she tends to, if she is playing with them, wear it. It's one shade and then one of the metallics for the lid. Like, that's just the way she wears it. But I'm in love with this palette for one shade in particular, and it is called Always There. And I want to show, I'm going to do a video with just using that one shade all over the lid. I'm telling you, or all over the eye. It's gorgeous, and it reminds me of something. I just can't put my finger on what it reminds me of. just can't. I can't put my finger on what it reminds me of. No, like I said, I got fallout with this shade. Of course, I knew I would. I didn't know I'd get this much. I'm not gonna lie. But I did get a good bit. But we're just gonna tap it in with my finger. And that will give it a little more hold, having that heat there from my finger. So that it sort of melted it down. Alright, then we're gonna go into the shade Twinkles. Don't ask y'all. It's been a long day. This one right here. And I'm just going to put that on the inner corner. As my inner corner. This actually felt like a super shock shadow, to be fair. But again, fallout. So do be careful. But this is a pretty color. Oh. Went in the wrong shape, but we'll just put on my jeans. I tried to run it over a little further than I usually do. I don't know why. But I did. But we're just going to blend it like this. I mean, I don't necessarily see this palette being like a me palette. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that. Now, this one shade's a me shade for sure. But I do think this is fun for my daughter, my granddaughter, maybe even my oldest daughter. And not to say that it's not fun for me, because it is. But realistically, am I going to wear this to a wedding? Am I going to wear this on date night? No, I'm not. And I'm not going to lie about it, you know? But that's okay. Am I going to wear it for fun? Yes. Am I going to wear it maybe to a party? I could see myself doing that for sure. Like a, I don't know, some sort of get together maybe. Maybe even a lunch I could see. But again, it's not going to be like an everyday palette for me unless I'm having fun, unless I'm like doing something for like the reasoning behind it. I don't know. Like, my money's well spent, but I don't feel like it's an everyday palette. That's all I'm gonna say. The highlighters are beautiful. Again, is this a look I usually do day to day? No. But is it fun? Yes. Do I think it looks nice? Yes. I don't know what it looks like in there, but here it looks nice, and it's not showing much texture, even though I'm not wearing a blush. Okay, all I am wearing is that purple highlighter as a blush, and then the actual highlighter, the lighter one, as a highlighter. It looks really cool, and it is duochrome. Like, I can see the shift as the light hits it. Now, I don't know if that's picking up on camera or not, but in real life, it is. So I do like that. I'm just going to go back in with the original shades, the original mattes. I feel like I need to maybe darken that blue up just a little bit. I think I got it a little bit dark on that other side still. Am I that concerned with that? No, but I do want to try to make it as even as can be. Did I have fun doing this look? I did. I had a lot of fun. Back into that purple shade. And running it along the lower lash line. I will say I didn't care for the fallout. I think it was a little bit more than what I'm used to, but it is what it is there too. We're gonna curl the lashes. I know. I'm going all out for this look here, huh? I'm using my Surratt eyelash curler. And then I'm going to go in with this new mascara that I got yesterday. The Beach Proof. I'm still testing this. It's still wet. I'm seeing how long it takes. Because I want to get a, good feel for it. Oh, it came off super duper easy last night. I use, what is it called? I know the brand, it's Lancome. And I believe that it's called like the Duo something. Like a bio base or something. It's like oil and cleanser in one or something. It's blue with a white lid. And I know it's Lancome. And it's for eyes and lips, I believe is what it says on it. That's what I use to take it off. I get a cotton swab wet. And then I let it sit on my eye for about a minute, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Just let it sit there and soak in. And then I wipe down. And this stuff came right off. Like, no tugging, no rubbing, not like it came right off with that cleanser. So, I have no issues with it as far as that goes. Now, some waterproof mascaras are a pain. And, I mean, I've actually, trying to get it off, have pulled out lashes, or had lashes fall out even. This did not happen with this, so that is nice. The only thing right now is that it is very wet, but again, it's brand new. But I do think that it makes my lashes look nice. And it is waterproof. But yet it comes off very easily with that anyway. So I have to assume if you use I also double cleanse, so I do that, and then I use my pharmacy cleansing balm. So I have to assume that if I just even use that, this would probably come off nicely, but I didn't, so I do always use the Lancome first. But no issues. It didn't smudge, flake, nothing like that. It stayed where it needed to stay. Again, I'm only applying it to my top lashes because, well, I'm still getting a feel for it, But so far, so good, other than it is very, very wet mascara. But this one looks better today than it did yesterday. So I think that with time, as this dries out just a tad, it's going to start looking better and better, to be honest. And like I said before, I do like the other one. I don't like the name of it, but I do like his other mascara. But I do think that this one here does look more professional, does have a more professional name even. Like, not just the packaging, but the name and all. Because the packaging of the other one's got some... there were choices made, that's all I'm going to say. He makes a lot of choices that you just go, really? That's what we're going to do? But the problem is this stuff is really good. It's not the best, but it is so darn good. That's the problem with it. And I get that some people don't want to review it, and that's, they have every right. But to me, it's, if he shuts down, how many people are going to be out of jobs? And I get it, he should be more responsible with that. But I just don't feel like he's ever going to be that responsible as far as that goes. Plus, like I said, who even knows? He could be a character. In real life, he might not be nothing like that, Even though, even as a character, he shouldn't say the stuff he says. I don't know. Yes, I purchased the stuff. No, I don't believe what he says. Or I don't believe in. Obviously he says it, and he does what he does, but I don't think it's right. Let me just say that. But with that all said, I do think this look turned out really nicely. I do enjoy it. I don't think it's a necessity, but I really think the metallics and the duochromes in this collection is what is shining. I'll say that. I mean, the mattes are fine. Like I said, the mattes are always fine with Colourpop. I have yet to see a palette where their mattes didn't perform. I mean, maybe you have to build them, maybe you have to work a little bit, but for their price point, like, I've not seen a palette where mattes are horrid. You know, their metallics though, that can differ a little from here to here. Glitters, don't like them. But from the very first glitter they ever made to now, yes, they've improved, but it's still not my cup of tea. But I will say the highlighters, I've always liked their highlighters. I've always liked their Super Shock. So, and I do think that if you are my skin tone, if you have very enlarged pores, maybe not put that on your cheek like I did. But if you just have pores, like we all have pores, it really doesn't it doesn't make them look bigger than what they are. And it's actually a very pretty color outside of, you know, just face to face or looking in a mirror or the sun shining and stuff. And you can see the shift. So I do enjoy it. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all of that way you're notified when I upload. I do upload every day but Sunday unless there is a new launch like this one. And I will see you on the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.